Barb Wire, and I have a confession to make. I'm obsessed with plants. Oprah's obsessed with bread. I'm obsessed with plants. I love indoor plants. I love outdoor plants. I love watching plant tour videos, and I'm going to put you guys through a plant tour video right now. So I hope you buckle in, you strap yourself down, you get cozy, because I'm going to talk to you about all my plants, my indoor plants. I'll make a second video for my outdoor plants, because this would be a very long video if I did both. So, are you ready? This is all my plants in no particular order, because I have a few favorites, but it's really hard for me to rank them all. So we'll start with, this is my avocado tree. It is currently just a stem. And it's a pit from an avocado that I ate. It was really good. And then I kind of wanted to have an avocado plant. So I'm going to see what happens with this. This beauty is a Photonia. I really like her because look at the cool contrast on her leaves. She's really sassy. When she needs a drink of water, she'll get all depressed and all her leaves will droop down. And then you give her water and then she perks right up after a few hours. So kind of a drama queen, but very fun. This is my Gullum fingers. I don't know the Latin name for this. It has a nice fancy Latin name also. It's a succulent. I really like it because it has like the tips of them have like little holes. I got this on Etsy. Didn't know what I was gonna get really and what quality of plant, but I got her about a year ago and she's still happy. Not a fast grower, but that's okay. I am allowing her to take the time she needs to become the woman she's going to be. This is my Christmas cactus. Christmas cactus, Easter cactus, Thanksgiving cactus. They're all fun. They all flower at different holidays. You can tell the difference between them. They all look similar, but the shapes of the leaves will be a little bit different for each of them. They're super fun, super easy. Doesn't require much. I've been fertilizing it this summer and it's been growing new leaves, which is super fun. And very easy plant and always fun and fun when it blooms too. This is a peperomia watermelon. She is super fun. I really like how she looks like a watermelon. This is a cutting my dear friend Jenna gave me, and she also gave me a cutting out of soil. So I'm trying to get her to propagate some new leaves. That's one super fun thing about plants is that if your plants get really big, a lot of time you can propagate them and then share with your friends or have more than one plant. Also, this works really well when you have rare plants and you don't want it to accidentally kill it and then be stuck without it. So then you always have a backup. I'm new to rare plants. I have 2 semi-rare plants, but to get rare plants in New Brunswick, Canada is a very, very difficult thing. I'll get more on that later. This little guy is a Hoya carrii or a heart-shaped Hoya. It is a variegated kind. And this was a COVID depression buy online I did. Remember when we were all in quarantine and sometimes some of us would maybe be sad and then go on the internet and buy things? I bought this. It got here 2 weeks ago. I bought this in March. It took 3 months to get here. Not because it took 3 months of shipping, because this plant would be dead by then, but they only ship them when it's warm, turns out. I'll show you the other plant I got during my COVID depression buy. My other plant I got during COVID depression buy is this Monstera addisonii. These guys are really cool. They're also known as the Swiss cheese plant. And instead of the regular Monstera that everybody always sees, the Monstera deliciosa, which I will show you later, I have one. This guy doesn't have the fenestrations going all the way out. It's more like a piece of Swiss cheese almost. Very cool. I can't wait for it to grow bigger. Once it's a little bit bigger, I will try to propagate it so I have a backup in case it dies because they are hard to find. And maybe I'll have enough cuttings to share with some friends that really love plants. This is a little cutting I got of a goldfish plant, and when it blooms, the flowers look like goldfish. They're orange little flowers shaped like goldfish. This is a cutting that's kind of struggling. It's been about this size for a year now. Don't know what I'm doing wrong, but clearly something. She's not dead, and she's still alive, but she's not thriving. But then recently I saw a bigger one at a store, so I bought it. So this is a goldfish plant with more glory. She is super happy, and I think she has one flower, so I can kind of show you right here. The flower has aged a bit, but you can kind of see it resembles a goldfish, which is where it gets its name from. Super happy plant. I have this one in the window in my living room, and she's so glossy. She looks like she's wearing lip gloss, and it's poppin'. This guy is my rubber tree. I really like, this is the ruby version. So underneath, especially on newer leaves, it becomes quite red. These guys are not as red or as burgundy as usual. I really like this plant. I think it's fun. It tolerates low light, which is really cool if you have a spot in your house that doesn't have a lot of bright light and you don't know you want to put a plant there. This is a good option for that. And they're just fun, perky plants. And this is also what rubber is made out of. These guys. Another cutting that a friend gave me is this philodendron. She's super fun. I really like the two colors. So the lime green with the dark green on the outside. These are a vining plant, much like pothos, which are quite popular. So I can't wait for this to grow bigger, and maybe I'll put it in the window and it can drape down, and it'll look super pretty. Or I kind of want to get a doll head and get a vining plant and cut the doll's head off, like the scalp, and plant a plant in it so it looks like hair. So we'll see what happens there. But this could be a potential plant to go in there. And pothos, I have three kinds. I have a marble queen, which I think is just spectacular. And there's a few of the leaves, let me see if I can show you, that are kind of split. The variegation is split down the middle. It's like this one. So you have the regular side and then the variegated side. And I think it's just a really spectacular plant. They're really easy to grow. They just need a draining hole, pot, and pretty much any light condition. They're pretty tolerant. Bright light is better. And you can stake them up so they grow up and make a really tall plant, or you can let them drape down. So this one's still quite young. Most of my pothos are. So eventually I'd like to have one that's staked up and one that's let flow down, and I think that's going to be really beautiful. This one is a pearl something. I can't remember what it's called exactly. It has the word pearl in the name. Also another type of variegation. It's really pretty. And I can show you a reason why you want to have a drainage hole, because I accidentally overwatered my regular and some of the leaves are turning yellow, which means I overwatered it. I need to change this pot and put it into a drainage hole because there's none there. But that is yet to come. But I'll do that soon because I want her to be happy, because she's starting to trail down and I want it to continue and I want her to thrive. I also have these two English ivies. They're very happy and perky, very easy to take care of. Just stick them on a shelf and they're growing. And I fertilize them when I fertilize my other plants, which I do every 2 weeks from Valentine's Day to Halloween. And then in the winter I back off because it's their dormancy period for most plants. However, the succulents get a lot less fertilizer. They only get it fertilized maybe once a month instead of every 2 weeks. But gotta know your plants before you fertilize them, because fertilizing them is going to give them a lot of life and you're gonna see so much new growth and they're gonna be so perky and happy. But if you over fertilize, you can also kill your plants. So do your research, but it's super, super beneficial. This is my lovely prayer plant. I adore these plants. They have amazing colors, which I really enjoy. And they're called prayer plants because when it gets dark, the leaves will start to fold up and do like prayer hands, and then they'll open up again once the sun comes. So they're really cool to watch. And they do quite a lot of movement, and I have some new leaves here and you can see how vibrant the colors are when they're new. Just a really happy plant, and it brings me a lot of joy. Then we have sansevierias, which a lot of people think they're kind of boring, but I really like them. They're really, really excellent beginner plant. They kind of thrive on neglect. They don't like to be overwatered. They don't like wet feet, and they can tolerate low light really, really well. but they will do better if you stick them in light. So I have 3 kinds. I have this guy, which is growing so much. Oh, the little zombie hand fell. So this one. I also have this one, which has also a bunch of new growth. It does have some damaged leaves. It came that way. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it nice and lush and then maybe just cut those off. And then this little guy who used to live in my office, but now I work from home like most people. So he's at home with me. And these are my Sansevierias. I love them very, very much. They're super fun. And they're happy and perky. Wait, I have one more type of Sansevieria, which is very different than these guys. Let me go get it. This one, look at this. These ones will grow and kind of look like a fan when they're big. So you can see I have another one growing in here, a little baby, which I didn't notice until I just picked it up. So that's very exciting. It's always super fun when you see new growth. I'm not being sarcastic. I get actually really excited when I see new growth on my plants. It makes me happy, and it makes me happy to see them thrive. So I'm excited. This one's going to have 4 prongs soon. So this is also another type of Sansevieria. They have really, really big ones, sometimes at Scott's, our local nursery, but they're very expensive when they're very big. So I'm trying my best to grow this one the best as possible. As plant parents, sometimes we have to deal with loss. My beautiful friend Jen gave me this nice plant. It came with originally this leaf, which is now dead. This is a brand new leaf. So it came to me with 1 leaf. It grew a second one. The first leaf died. So I'm going to keep trying to work with it and see if I can get more growth coming out of it. But I'm going to have to cut this off because it's just draining the plant at this point. But Jen, I'm still trying. I will try to give her a good life. This is my ZZ plant, and we're expecting 3 new babies. So they'll push up like this. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And they'll push up 1 whole stalk with a bunch of leaves. So this plant, I think, doesn't grow new leaves at the top of existing ones. Instead, it just pushes new shoots out, and they just get bigger and bigger. In my understanding, I could be wrong. Also a very easy plant to have, can tolerate quite low light, and doesn't need a lot of water. So another one that thrives on neglect. Very good beginner plant. They also have ZZ Ravens, which when the new leaves come out, they'll come out green and then slowly and slowly turn black. I've never seen one for sale near me, but if I do, I'm buying it because I would love to have a Raven ZZ plant. This is one of my few remaining succulents. Canadian weather just doesn't have the appropriate amount of light. I stick them under grow lights or I stick them outside in the summer. They're doing okay. I think I'm just not a succulent gal. I love succulents. I love the little fat leaves, and I just want to hold them and poke them. But I'm still struggling with them. So I think I just have to come to terms. This fun plant is a zebra something. I can't remember what it is. It's super fun. I had it underneath my grow light thinking that this kind of looks like a succulent. I thought I would appreciate the light, but it burnt and it got really unhappy. So now I have it in a north facing window and it's growing so much new stuff. So that's kind of a fun thing about plants is that you kind of get to know what they want. And then if you can find them a good spot, then it always feels really good. So that's super fun. And I just found a dead spot from when I burnt it. But yeah, it's bouncing back. It's pushing a bunch of new growth. It's a really fun looking plant. Very happy plant. This is a aluminum something or other plant. I really like that it has like silver on the leaves. It was in the same north facing window as my zebra something or other plant. And then I moved it underneath my grow light. Same thing, did not like it. So I just moved it back to the light. It has a few dead leaves, but I think it will bounce back. It also needs water, so I will do that. And then my orchid, she gave me a lot of grief this winter. She got mealybugs. She only had this 1 leaf and another leaf that went with it. The other leaf completely turned yellow, and then a bunch of the roots rotted. So I had to take it out of its bark, do emergency surgery, and cut off all the dead roots, cut the yellow leaf out, and spray it down and tried to kill all the mealybugs. I maintained, quarantined her also so that the mealybugs wouldn't spread. And then since then, it has bounced back. I wasn't sure. It has grown 3 new leaves. So I'm hoping she'll do flowers soon, because orchids are beautiful. And this tiny little plant, which I kind of really love tiny plants. I love massive plants and I also love tiny ones. It's a lipstick plant that my dear friend Jenna also gave me when she gave me some propagations. So I'm excited to watch this baby grow. She already has a couple new baby leaves coming out, so that's really exciting. I forgot about one more type of sansevieria I have in this house. I got this at IKEA in Halifax a few years ago. She's super fun and she has really narrow and like striped, almost like bamboo-ish stalks just shooting right up, and she's pushing lots of new babies, which once they get bigger, this is something I can share with my friends and give them a baby so they can have their own. Then I have my jade. My jade is one of these plants that I had a hard time finding the right spot for it, but right now I have her in my mudroom, and she has 3 windows on, so 3 different directions, and I think this is what she needed because she's pushing a bunch of new growth. Before where I had her, she kept losing leaves all the time. So I think this is another one. You just have to find the right spot and then you leave it there. So she has a permanent home now. She's pushing a bunch of new growth. So I think I've turned it around. As a plant person, I have a confession to make. I still have not figured out aloes, a good way to keep them happy. I think I may have been watering her too much, which I thought would be difficult because I only water her maybe once a month. But I think I'm going to try to just not water her for a really long time until I notice that she may need water and see if that works. Just having a hard time. And I love giant aloe plants. I would love to have one. And I'm trying to grow my own, but so many dead leaves. So trying to figure this out. Kind of embarrassing to admit, but I will figure out aloes. I've killed a few. I will figure out aloes because I love them. I love them very much. All right, so I also have this little spiky boy, a nice little cactus. This is my only cactus. I'm just not watering it, and I put it in a bright window. I'm new to cactuses. It's my first one, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna go. But it's bright. I've only had it for a couple weeks, so really don't have much to say about it, except that very spiky and very fun. And then my friend Jenna also gave me these succulent cuttings. So burro's tail and some kind of firecracker or something or other. They're still small. A lot of them are just cuttings. So I'm seeing if I can propagate them into growing some nice roots systems. And I stuck them in a really bright window. So I hope they'll be happy there. Earlier, I might have said that I don't really have favorites or specific favorites, but this is one of them. This is my string of hearts. As you can see, she's very, very long. She's probably 4 feet long, and I think it's time for me to give her a haircut because Lucy, my dog, my Great Dane, now can touch her easily when she looks out the window, and I just don't want her to yank or damage this plant because it's a very delicate plant and it grows so fast. And as you can see, it's literally a string with hearts on it. But when you cut them, it's not waste. You can put the cuttings in water and get them to grow roots. And then I just plant them back. So this was a cutting and this was a cutting. So I'm working on having a fuller top. I would like the string of hearts to go all the way around this container. And I think that's going to look really beautiful. This could be a cool plant to put on a doll head so it looks like hair coming out. Really love this plant. It's just a really happy plant. I love to watch it grow. I really like my string of hearts. This is my string of turtles. So much like the string of hearts, it's a string and the leaf shape decides the name. So this one looks like turtle shells. This one's smaller. It is still growing. I haven't taken many cuttings out of it yet because I want it to come a little longer before I start cutting it to make it go all the way around. But a very, also a very fun and happy plant. A very delicate, so when you take it in and out, you have to be very careful because these little leaves can just fall right off. So you have to handle it with a lot of care. I have her in the window and she has lots of room to grow down. Also just a really fun plant. This is some kind of palm my mom gave me. It was in her office and she retired and she took it home with her. And it's growing so much new growth. It's really happy. My mom really likes to decorate her plants with little birds, so I kept it there. Reminds me of her. Just a happy plant. I think I need to put it in a pot soon that has drainage, better drainage hole, but for now she's in here until I get a new pot. And this is my gold dusted, I think it's a croton, I don't know. It's a gold dust plant. As you can see on the plant, it looks like it has little specks of gold on it. A very happy plant. I have her in a window and she loves it. Also will tell you when they need water because a very dramatic, thirsty bitch, if you know what I mean. I have another ivy. This one, my beautiful friend Kendra, when she moved away, gave it to me because she wasn't sure if it was going to make the journey to her new city of residence. When she gave it to me, it was really small, and it's just, I hung it up by the dining room window, and it's just been going ham. It's growing so fast. I am fertilizing it in the summer. She's just a very happy and fun plant. I really like watching her grow. So I stuck my Pilea under grow light. She did not like it. Lost so many of her leaves. But I changed her spot and she's growing new leaves and she seems happy. And I also have one of her babies, and her baby is really going off, and her baby already has a new baby. I don't know if you can see both stems. So this is like maybe 3 months of growth, and it's just going ham. And this one is starting to bounce back now that I have to change its spot. So grow lights are amazing for some plants, and for some plants, don't put them too close to them because they will burn and they will throw tantrums. So get to know your plants. It takes some time, trial and error, and I find you just have to take the time to get to know them. This is my curly Hoya. It has some kind of Latin name that I can't remember, but I think the layman's term is curly Hoya. Look at the fun shapes of those leaves. I also have very, very curly hair that I often get frustrated with. So I kind of feel like, I don't know, she gets me and I get her. Hoyas don't like to be moved. They don't like to be overwatered, kind of like to be left alone, and they do not like to be repotted. So if you find a good spot for it, don't move it and don't repot it unless it's absolutely necessary. But they're super fun plants and they come in so many fun shapes and sizes. And then this guy, my dear friend Scott gave it to me recently. He did a root division of this plant, and it already seems to be growing a new sprout coming down right here, if you can see it. Wait, no, you can't. Hold on. Oh, there. And I put it in one spot next to my Monstera on the floor in the other room. Seems happy there, but I have not found permanent spot. That's kind of a temporary space because I don't really know where to put it. But I will find this beautiful plant a home in which it can thrive and grow happy in. Also, just look at these fun leaves. Look at the colors. Plants bring me joy, which is why I have too many and I refuse to count them at this point because I don't want someone to call it a problem. This is my remaining succulents. I stuck them all in the same pot and I stuck them out right underneath the grow light with various success. But if all fails, I'm gonna keep this guy because this guy is doing really, really well in the back. And it's just a really fun plant and it just grows up towards the sun, which is really cool. Or in my case, a grow light, but we're not gonna tell them it's not a real sun. I also really like these living stones because I just find them really neat plants. I don't know. I have various successes and failures in here. Trying not to water it. It's in a terracotta pot, which wicks away a lot of the moisture. It's hard to grow succulents well in Canada when you have shady windows. So I'm trying to give all these guys the best life I can for now, and hope they thrive. And I just kind of hope they do okay. And that's fine too. This is my 10-year-old coffee bean plant. My dad bought me this plant, and when he bought it for me, which is now in this size of pot, it was in a little coffee cup. And he bought it for me when I moved to Fredericton, or when I moved to Ottawa before I lived in Fredericton. And it's been following me around. I've repotted it a few times since. It's kind of a weird stage right now because it has a bunch of tiny new leaves coming in. Because I put her outside every summer. The first month or two, she kind of has to get acclimatized to the sun, so like we'll have sun browning. But then by the end of the summer, usually she's so luscious and just so much new growth and just beautiful shiny green leaves. I don't think I'll ever get a coffee bean to grow out of this thing because we're just not in the right climate. But she's still doing pretty good for Canada, so we'll see. But I'm quite proud of this one. She got sick this winter and had mealybugs. And that stressed me out a lot because I do care a lot about this plant. It has sentimental value, and it's also been in my life for a really long time. And I just want this plant to do well and be happy. And I think she's bouncing back now and doing so much better. And I love to see all this new growth. It's so exciting. Almost every tip has 2 new leaves coming out. So I think at the end of the summer we'll get a lot of new growth. It's a slow grower, and just a really fun plant. I really like this plant, and it brings me a lot of joy, much like my other plants. This is my Dracaena, which from the pot doesn't look like much, but let me put this on the ground. So I'm standing next to it. It's quite tall. It went through a little rough patch this winter. Again, mealybug, so I attacked 3 of my plants. After I quarantined them, they didn't go anywhere else though. This is a super happy plant. I've had it for over 10 years. This is my coffee plant, or my oldest plants. And it used to belong to my mother-in-law before that. So this has followed me to many apartments, many cities. And right now I see some of its leaves. It's not happy. I also read online that if you give these either rainwater or pure water or distilled water instead of using tap water, they thrive and they do better, and it helps with a lot of discoloration. So I'm gonna have to start doing that with her and see if I can get her to bounce back a little bit, because right now she's looking a little sad. But the mealybugs are gone. That was the hardest part. Pests on plants is heartbreaking. And I don't wish it on anyone or any plant. Alright, so I have one more plant to show you, and I think I'm going to have to bring you to the plant instead of bringing the plant to you because I don't think I can lift it. So, give me a sec. This is my Monstera deliciosa. This is a brand new leaf, so it's starting to do the fenestration. It's still a young plant. This is actually 2 plants. So this is a plant I got from Scott's, quite young. And then this guy is of a cutting I got from my friend Sam, which I rooted in water. So it has some damages, but I'm hoping that if I just keep giving it the right, see there's a lot of damage, but I'm hoping that if I can get it the right conditions, enough sun, it's underneath this grow light right here, then it's going to bounce back and become a really happy plant. It's been pushing a lot of new growth for me, so I'm taking that as a good sign. It's quite heavy. It is beautiful. I can't wait to have a big one. But to buy these large, you're going to be spending a lot of money, which I do not have. So this is my journey I'm going to do with this guy. I'm going to watch it grow nice and big. I'm very excited to keep taking care of this plant. See, some of the leaves are really beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really like plants. I love my collection. It's growing sometimes faster than I would like to admit. But I love watching them grow. I love learning and trying to figure out what they need and taking care of them. One of my biggest issues is try not to overwater my plants, because that could be very damaging for plants. But it does bring me joy to take care of them. I hope you learned some things, or I hope you just got to relax and take a break and take a breather. And if you have any answers for some of the plant problems I've been talking about, share them in the comments. I'm always happy to learn more. I do lots of research on my own. I talk to friends, I talk to family. My mom's really good with plants, so sometimes I ask her questions, and together we'll learn. And the plant community is actually a pretty cool community if you find a good circle. It's really fun because you can get free plants, you can give away plants. It always brings life into your friends' homes. And I hope you have a great day. Take care of yourself. Black Lives Matter. Wear your mask. Be kind to one another. No, that sounds like Ellen. I don't want to say that. Just be nice. It's so much easier to be nice than it is to be a bitch. Just let's take care of each other, and let's defund the police. What a concept.